Hello everyone, Granite Roots. This is Moss Saturday Night Raid. After reset night being we're up against Boon Ball builds from these opposing squads, which knew we were going to run into tonight. I'm running Spellbreaker with Bubble just because I knew what we were in for, and this right here is the same one of the guilds I think we had last night, and this fight right here took probably a good 20 minutes, so I kind of edited and cut out some of the parts so it wouldn't be so long and boring. But what I want you to see is, you know, you can kind of fast forward through it if you want, but I wouldn't stop here because it'd be a contrast. We had some Boon strip in here, and we win, but it takes a while. But then after this fight, we continue to adjust our comp to more Boon strip, and you're going to see fights with these guys later on in a couple other groups that are known for Boon balls, and they just totally melt. So just hang in, check this out, and just appreciate and enjoy the contrast, especially if you've been up against some of these Boon ball builds that just really is just nice when you get the victory, but boy, it takes some time. So anyway, back to the action. You're going to find it felt good to be back on Spellbreaker. I hadn't played that in a while. So you're going to notice too, one thing I like to do is like the combo Staff 3 right before I go into Snap Pull Skill 4 for pulls, because part of what you get for Skill 3 is not only a port and some other stuff, it also makes your next few attacks unblockable. So if they don't have stability, it's a guaranteed pull on an enemy opponent. So that's always nice. And I also like to run Doliac just because it helps me get the bubble down. So we use this terrain here, so you have that little rock ledge. People get hung up on that. I don't usually stop to res people because you're not supposed to with a healer, but that was also one of our other healers. And you can see most of our squad is gone. You see them running back on the mini-map. We have some other allies with us. There's another smaller group squad running next to us. And so we're just going to play the game of circling around, trying to pick them out one at a time. We got another down there. And just get one at a time because that's how we have to do it. There's a bubble right on top of them. That's going to help, but they're going to start moving this fight over towards the right, headed back towards Bay from the north side. And we're going to dub around over here a little bit, still doing a thing, circling around, trying to pull pieces off here and there. And what I love about Ori is the mobility with the staff, because you have a lot of mobility with stuff. The other thing I noticed that I didn't do here, but I started doing more later on, is I didn't swap to my offhand Warhorn set, which I should have, because I'm trying to be ready for the pulls and such. Excuse me. But what I started doing later on and helps is when I'm on my Warhorn dagger set, the F1 strips boons, dagger 3 strips boons, and I think 2 stuns or something, so I need to use those more, especially if I'm up right in their grill, right in the middle of the mix, and it's a good gap closer too. So I cut that part out. We're jockeying for the high ground. I got a little bit off stack, rolled through them, better than taking damage for those AoEs. And here's 4 and 5 Warhorn. Skill F2 for the block is amazing, and if that triggers, it also strips boons, so I try and use that as much as I can, and it just keeps me alive, and it recharges so quick. That's why fighting sometimes these spell breakers can be so challenging, because they're just constantly recharging the blocks. But it makes it great for being a frontline healer. May not do heal as much as some of these other builds with higher healed returns, but they're very tanky, and they do offer a lot in ways of stability with the banner, some cleanse, mobility, barrier, and of course Boon strip. And there, I always try to drop banner when it's off cooldown, and this is kind of like how you use Hollowed Ground. You got to try to anticipate where you're going to be. So now we're at the top of this ramp, and we're going to do a little circling around stuff here, and then in a second, well, maybe a minute, we're gonna kind of regroup, and that's the end of these guys, because they follow us to where we regroup, and then we come back on them, all their boons get stripped, and then it's a complete rout. So I know this could get pretty boring. Fun to fight, but it can be pretty boring. I'm still entertained watching this because I'm still learning more stuff to do. And I'd encourage anybody that, if you're trying to learn stuff or you want to get better at whether it's roaming or zerging, even if you don't create videos and stuff and edit them, if you have some kind of way to record them and watch them on Windows Media or something later on, and we got the bubble that started at the beginning and the end of stripping their boons, record it and then watch it after, and then you can delete it. You don't have to, I don't keep anything I've recorded. It all goes on YouTube for me. But I've seen that I've gotten much better in my play style, because a lot of times for me, I'm trying to, take my skills off as quickly as I can click them, but some of them need time before you click something else. You do, you auto cancel with going to another skill. So, and you see it in this video, I've done it a couple times, and so I'm trying to just figure that out. So here we go. We're gonna go. We've circled around a bit. We're gonna go regroup over by the X marker. They're gonna follow us, thinking they got us pinned in. We're gonna come back out, drop a whole bunch of strip over here as they come back towards the mid of this alleyway, and you watch all the downs. They're just going to kind of suddenly be like 4 or 5, and then they're going to start running, and there they go. The downs are starting to accumulate, and we're just going to keep pressuring them. And I think they realize they broke. Maybe they lost their commander in that burst, because they all start running south. You see them running. I'm going to cut to the very end of the tail, because we're just going to chase them along the north wall of Bay. What I always like to, again, it's the roamer in me, the aggressiveness. I always like to cut to a stomp if I can, and we're going to take this second guy up here. Oh, dagger 2 is the gap closer, 3 is the strip. Okay, this was cool. So red came back to Bay, South Bay. We're going to go out and poke them. Now watch how quickly they melt. We have changed up our comp a little bit, added more boon strip. Look at all the downs. And this is a brilliant use of the portal door there by the gate that our commander had us use. We're going to just poke in and out and go back in just enough to heal up, maybe get some stuff off a cooldown, and then we're going to charge right back out. This first time we come back out, they've kind of balled back up, got themselves settled, and we weren't even out back here for very long. And see that they did a good job here getting themselves ready. However, again, we've got boon strips, all our stuff ready, and this second time, see how they're getting strung out, chase us back to the gate? We're going to wait, we're going to heal up. Not long, but long enough to heal up, and then we're going to come back through. And they're so disorganized, we're just going to circle around them and just kind of push them against the wall a little bit. And now we're going to do our last pull. And this is what was interesting. We're back here the longest time yet, and when we come out, they're still kind of sitting there. And I know we have arrow carts on them and stuff, but I was surprised pleasantly that they were in such chaos. Again, I don't know if one of their commanders dropped or what have you. And it might have been they just had our people in the arrow carts just kept it so toxic they couldn't res their peeps. And so now we're going to run them all the way back to the camp. Again, Warrior's great with gap closing skills. I love it. Use that, shake it off a bit too late. I should have done it as soon as I was stunned. That's another problem I have. I tend to sometimes, especially when I roam, be miserly with skills so I can have them for a burst, but really going to be more free with using them in a Zerg. Went for a stomp there, but he was already dead. Alright, this was cool. This is the Green Guild from last night that was all boon comped, and they're going to try to circle around to the left behind the wall, stack up, and get us with a bomb. We're just going to push right through and into them. I'm going to drop my bubble right on them. And I think we had other bubbles and stuff as well, and we're just going to kind of watch them all just start to drop. There they go. We're going down. Thank you very much. Had our down rally. That was nice. So this was another good victory. The same group in a second, you're going to see in the next clip, is going to, we just knocked down their wall, we're headed up to the Tower Lord, it's Southeast Tower. Look this way, turn around, and suddenly there's a whole bunch racing up. First thing I do is drop Banner of Stability. Second thing, I drop the Winds, and then I'm just going to go into any other boon strips I have with a block, and then we're going to do some pulls, all kinds of CC, and watch them melt. Alright, and of course, like I said, I'd like to make sure we get them all, and we did. Alright, so that was it for tonight. Very good run. Challenging but fun. I love when we fix the boon comp, boon strip for those guys. It went a lot smoother. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for all those that came out and ran with us, and I hope you have a most excellent day.